This is literally 3 nights later. The little Baroness was really screwed up from the fight. It took a while to naturally heal. She's been assisted by the village's local shrine maiden, who slowly had to dig a multitude of arrowheads and shafts and other things like that out of her body, and not do it so quickly that she died from the stress of it. This isn't the entirety of the wooden garrison. This is effectively the castle or soldiers portion of it. There's a greater outer wall. Um, these are literally built for about half the village to be able to retreat inside and stay for about 1 to 2 weeks. This is actually where the soldiers would stay, generally pretty close to the main gate for the outer wall. Um, the main weakness of any kind of wooden fortress built like this is, of course, fire. The good thing about wooden fortresses like this is they're cheap to put up and repair. Now, it's been a total of 3 days. Um, you're going to have been cognizant for more of that time, Ro. Is there anything in particular your ranger wanted to do as he was healing up from all of his scars?
Make sure I get a hold of the ring of protection that was on that dude.
Well, you really have no interference with that right now. So that would be pretty easy to pocket.
I mean, that's the first thing I wanted to do. Because I know we grabbed everything else, but that thing never came up, and I was just thinking. Um, I don't know. I mean, have I been in here the whole time?
Yeah. I mean, the Baroness was secluded away with the 8 soldiers that, if you really wanted to, you probably could have torn. But,
No.
again, these are the protectors of your particular village that you like, so there was no reason to really challenge them. Um, One of the sort of like weirdnesses that wouldn't be weird to you of the culture is that when the shrine maiden was also tending to your wounds, she would actually pour purifying water, and it would remove literally all the scars that would have been on your body otherwise as you were healing up.
Nice.
The village itself suffered no casualties, and there were no fires set within it.
Ooh, ooh, nice.
Um, and you guys could have divvied up the magic items from before. Did you figure out how you wanted to do?
Yeah. All I really wanted was the armor, the katana, and the ring, and then the rest of it went. And I kept 500 of the gold.
Yeah, it looks like from my notes, um we got a total of 3,000 gold. So and then the Howard's Habisashi. Um, so I didn't know, and that one has food for 25 people. So for 4 weeks. And then I got the other set of armor. So yeah, I'm sitting on 2,500 gold, Howard's Habersashi, and a new set of armor.
Yeah, the haversack is effectively a backpack. that has some extra dimensional properties. You can put more stuff in it and haul much heavier weights than it appears like you're hauling. So it would be a kid's backpack that you could put the weight of equivalently a small car into and haul. Um, so that's probably the easiest way to kind of think with that particular model.
So at this point, we're both completely healed.
Yes.
And it's no money. Like, they're not going to try to get money from us, right? Because we just saved them.
You mean the Shrine Maiden? No, the Shrine Maiden is going to automatically take care of you two because you just not only defended the village, but um, Robo's mysterious ranger is literally the folk hero of the village. He would automatically get these services without needing to pay a dime, and the same um, literally applies to the Baroness of the land. You know, it's expected as fealty that the local healer would help that particular person out. It's bad manners not to give something in return, but it's not expected.
Yeah, well, I give her 100 gold.
Okay.
The healer, just say, for all your trouble. And if anybody in the village, I mean, anything get destroyed or anything, I mean, they just came in and came straight here, so nothing really.
Oh, there's fire damage and there's you know arrows that had to be cleaned up and small repairs that had to be made to the wooden walls and there are about 8 soldiers that had to be buried. Um, the biggest problem for the combined barony right now is you're looking at about 8 soldiers defending, you know, the northern village and the southern village. Um, and this is normally something staffed by at least 25 warriors. So, I mean, you guys are kind of vulnerable, and your ability to patrol is really harshly impacted. Um, on top of that, in a weird way, it also kind of opens up the door of the people that just attacked you. You just wiped out, you know, the uh, Baron and his troop entourage, which probably means wherever he came from is pretty lightly defended as well, and he in effect did declare war on you.
So here's what I think. Well, firstly, I think me and Robo should introduce one because I don't think we know each other. I think we've seen each other, winked at each other, dismounted fancily, and I think we should introduce each other. Like, or, yeah. Like, I think I should say like, am I like right next to him in the temple?
Yeah, I mean, he's literally in an honored guest area of the temple grounds because um, you had 2 bodyguards that were wiped out right as you were approaching the initial fight, and you guys just held off a force that was twice the size of what the garrison should have had to protect itself. Um, so I mean, and on top of that, even though this is the local garrison for the local village, this is still the village of Camilla. And to be honest, the mysterious ranger is still the folk hero of this village. So, he's going to be held in higher esteem than somebody they didn't know, or even somebody who is a normal person who is within the village.
Okay, well, then what I want to do is just kind of turn and, say, you know, you saved my life out there. I really appreciate that. And, if you, I'm Ezra, and, I'm the Baroness, if you didn't know. and we won this fight with our strength and courage, and a lot of that was you. So I would be honored if you would fight alongside me, because I think now that the orange blossom is destroyed, we need to go and plumage their resources.
Well, it's good to see you're back up on your feet, little lady. And pretty soon you'll be able to dismount like an elfin princess in no time. You want me to accompany you to another?
You cut out.
You want me to accompany you to Orange Blossom?
Well, I mean, I think we need to prepare ourselves, because they're going to keep coming, and this isn't the first time they're going to attack this village. I mean, they're going to keep coming for us, and I think we need to take the initiative and gather some soldiers. If you want this village to stay erect.
Why are they attacking?
Because, well, they're cowardly dogs, and with the death of my father, they're trying to take control of these lands, which for these people here would mean they would be ruled over by a unloving and uncaring emperor and barons who would put these people into slavery and rape these maidens of the shield, the shield maidens too. All of these women are going to be raped, and all these people are going to die. So
I just want to say that you're very much living up to your chaotic neutral alignment with your way of telling this story right now.
Well, I like to think I wake up and I'm like incredibly happy to not be dead, but I'm also like I'm angry, and I realize the threat. I think we need to procure some soldiers. I mean, we got money, we need resources too, and we need to gather, like we need to gather some supplies. We need oil, rope, pigs.
Wow. Well, all this is a little beyond me, but I'll do whatever it takes to protect the village. Are you sure there's still a threat?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. They're like, I showed him
Well, then I
letters.
Awesome, and figure out why they attacked. Like, why? Why all of a sudden come to this peaceful village?
Well, because they want to become the baron of this village. They want to rule over the village, I turned to the shield maiden, or the shield priestess, and I go, I'm gonna need some supplies. So, I mean, what can you give me? And thanks for the healing. But I do it politely, like, with respect. I'm sorry.
How graceful.
She's had a rough couple of days.
So,
That's what I say. She's had a rough couple of days. It'll be fine.
well, I mean, what are you specifically asking the villagers for? Because they'll provide what they can, but it's going to be limited because these are not wealthy.
Well, firstly, who controls this village? Like, who's the leader here?
Actually, that would be you.
Okay, well, so I mean,
In your physical absence, justice is handed out by whoever is the effective captain of the guard, which will reside in the emergency garrison that people will hide in. But if you're on the spot, it's either the captain of the guard or the village elders.
all right. I turn to Lobo and I go, look, you're now captain of the guard. We need a guard. Like, we need people. So you're kind of like one guy. And we need more soldiers. So we not only need supplies, we need soldiers. And, then I look, like, at the priestess and I tell her, like, we're gonna need some rope and oil and some healing potions. You got some of those? And I want everybody in this village to know now they're under me. And I'm a rightful and just ruler. As long as you stay loyal, or you're gonna end up on a stake.
Her eyes go wide as you say that?
There's no need to get violent.
Not like
We're peaceful here. I mean, I respect that you ran out of a garrison almost alone to take on 50 people. But I mean, there's no need to get mean.
it's not about being mean. It's about being honorable. And there is no honor in backstabbers and people who would be deceitful to me. So now I am the ruler here, and I will give, and I want you to know, and I look back at the shield priestess, and I go, I will treat your people with, I don't know, respect, as long as as long as, like, I'm gonna protect your village. Like, I didn't come here to change anything. Unlike the people who were attacking, they would have wanted to kill everybody in here. And I came out of my own volition to help.
Are you going to give the Shrine Maiden time to try and gather which?
Oh yeah, and then I'll also I'll give her a brief history of my villages and how my father protected them, and like kind of like a brochure, like but in speaking form, where I'll be like, I'm a good person, and my dad was a great person, and what we want is we want the villages to be free. We don't want them to fall under tyranny. We don't want them to be exploited, and I'm here to ensure that. I'm here to
She's nice. She just has a temper, I say to the shield maid.
yeah.
Okay. Persuasion roll.
My dice.
You want to, you can roll it virtually.
All right, the first virtual roll. How do we do this?
There is a, looks like a little D20 at the bottom right above the question mark. If you pick the D20, you can roll that at.
And add what?
Not two, just the singular one.
What? 11?
Yep. So 21. Though it would be easy for people who have lived under you to feel slightly preached to, with the way that you were explaining things, because you did it in a very charismatic fashion. the person goes and does what you want. Within 4 hours, she returns with all the spare rope the village has, all the spare oil that the village has, which is like 8 flasks and 2 things of 50-foot rope, and it's also 4 vials of what would be a standard potion of healing, which is like 2 die 4, worth about 50 gold each. Um, but keep in mind your people are poor, and it's generally considered good manners to pay for these things. The total value of what she brought to you would be worth about 220 gold.
All right, so I give her uh, 400 gold out of my 2,500 gold, out of and I, out of appreciation, and I thank her and very respectively. Yeah, I you know. Can I also get like the lowdown on this village? Like, uh, what do they do here? Like, what is their? Are they farmers? Are they builders?
All of your villages are farming villages. If it weren't for the 10 baronies, which were all farming baronies, then the actual town of about 6,000 people that's the center of the earldom wouldn't even be able to exist. Each of the baronies typically makes far more food than they can actually eat. They um, use that as a payoff to their particular barons, from which you normally get your troops and the total gold value of what they pay you in fealty. And then you also send that to the earldom, which also uses that for their troops in defense. And it's also used as the food that the township of about 6,000 people actually survive off of, because they're not farming.
Okay. Well, so I guess right now my biggest thing would be just trying to our next. I mean, we gotta figure out our next move. Like, we need soldiers. We need more soldiers, and you know, I also can I send a pigeon or a raven or an owl back to my village as like a with like a note to tell them that we got victory, and with the cost of the soldiers that we lost, but we've claimed Orange Blossom, and yeah, just like
Well, you're not in Orange Blossom. You're actually in your village of Camilla. If you're
Oh,
gonna go to Orange Blossom, it's gonna take you up to a day to get there by horse. If you go by foot, it could take long.
sorry, I'm writing notes, so yeah, yeah. This is Camilla. So this is the village where I met the toy maker, and with my plushies and everything. That's awesome.
Yep. We go. Actually, I'm not sure it's gonna show you. Um, Let me see. If I take you back to the starting map, this is one of those. I'm a little bit of a knob on this.
I think it's a ton of cherry blossom, and then yeah.
Yeah, what you're actually looking at is if you head over to the area of the barony of Camilla, which is in your um, upper right hand corner. You're literally in the fortress right now for Camilla. To be able to get to Orange Blossom, you'd have to take the road across the Great Bridge, and then into Orange Blossom, which by horseback should take you about a day. Orange Blossom is literally the barony that just attacked you.
I mean, what do you think we should do, Robo?
Well, if the leader of Orange Blossom came here, then perhaps you should go and declare it yours. Since he sent, it seemed like a lot of his forces here. Or at least go check it out.
Yeah. I mean, will you be coming with me?
Yeah. My main concern is the safety of this village. But if that safety means me having to make sure you control that part, then it was fine. This village is doing fine under your rule or your father's rule. Plus, you helped save my village, so I'll definitely help you.
Nice. Yeah. So, okay, before we go, we are going to need some, we can't just two-man this. We're going to have to, where do we go? Where is there a place to buy soldiers?
Oh, that's easy. They would come in by sea to the town where it's Cherry Blossom, which is the same area that has the bounty where your head is worth part of 100,000.
Where's the nearest tavern to get some people?
Well, there's tavern, and I mean, you can activate like male peasants of fighting age, but that's not the same as having real soldiers. They're just, you know, people with pitchforks to bolster your range.
How many pigs do we got in this village?
Probably quite a few, but they're not really going to fall into the next area you're going. They're not going to herd very easily. You'd need a whole bunch of troops to make sure they were going in a particular direction.
Do we have any, poison? Like, if we can't get Orange Blossom to obey, we can poison their water supply.
That would probably be quite a bit of poison.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean,
You should figure out who's in charge of Orange Blossom.
we just killed the person in charge.
That's what I'm saying. So somebody must be looking for him. Or perhaps we could send word he has been killed. Or perhaps bring his body back.
Yeah.
Or part of his body.
His head. We're not doing some kind of burial thing. This guy's a jerk.
Also, just bringing up from the wanted notice. Baron Nakiri Ono, which is the guy that you literally killed from the barony of Orange Blossom, is one of the 3 people they were looking. You could send his body in, because if he was the person behind the assassinations, that might actually absolve you of the crime.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah. Okay, then let's get his body. Dude, I mean, I turn to the shield maiden and I go, how do you ask someone where you guys keep your dead bodies? Or did you guys clean up the field? Like, how do you ask that politely? Or do I just assume that the dead bodies are still there?
I look at the shield maiden. What have you done with the bodies?
two are awful. From funerals that you have seen that dead bodies are kept at the shrine before they're cremated. There are no graves. It's they're cremated and then the dust goes back to the land.
So have they been cremated yet?
No. And the attacking bodies are all kept within the fortress itself, but within the walls. In other words, they have no interest in having it in the inner fortress proper. It's placed a long ways away on the walls, so that they minimize the chance of disease. But they were keeping it as proof that they themselves were attacked. And the soldiers that died defending here, I may have misspoke and said they were buried earlier, but literally what would have been there is they would have burned them and like left little plaques where their ashes were spread that would erode away with any.
This is why. You know how much easier this would be if one of us was a necromancer? Not out of disrespect, but, you know, it'd save us some money. I don't say that out loud.
All right. I look at the shield maiden. What is your name?
Her name?
Yes.
You gotta talk like her.
She says her name is Yoko.
Say, hello, Yoko. I am Nock. Could you please go get the body of the Baron who attacked this place? Or arrange for it to be brought to us?
Yeah, she can show you exactly where it is.
Awesome. That would be awesome.
Thanks, Yoko.
And Yoko also asked, would you like the body delivered to the township? Because when the Countess's caravan comes within a few days, we can have it sent with the caravan.
Well, wait a minute. What if they try to raise him? There was a letter that talked about raising people from the dead. I mean, what if they, we should just send his head. They can't raise his body if we just send his head. Plus, that's kind of medieval. They might be intimidated.
All right. I look at the shield maiden again. And I say, I'm sorry. I'm not used to dealing with this kind of stuff. Could we arrange to have the head removed from the Baron and maybe wrapped and preserved somehow and brought to us? Or brought to the Baroness? She's very concerned with it.
As you ask your gruesome questions, she maintains a straight and professional face, which is she's probably all of 13 or 14 years old.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. You know what? Show me where the bottom body is, please, and I will take care of all.
Show me the body and I shall do the hacking.
What is with all these young people? Am I running around in a village full of 14-year-olds?
No, it's one of the local traditions is one of the things that the village girls will compete for is the honor of being shield mating. They get some small skills, and before they're of marrying age, they get to be effectively the priestess of the village for a little while and maintain some of the traditions. And in effect, sort of like in a counter to her own culture, that makes that particular girl the most desirable girl in the village, and in a lot of cases it leads to a happy marriage when she's ready to, marry and become a full woman and yada yada yada. It's just the traditions of this particular area.
Okay.
Well, what kind of skills does this person have? Like, what does she do? Can she fight? Can she heal?
Um, do you remember how many arrows were within?
Yeah.
All of those arrows are gone, and you have no scars.
Well, let's take her with us. I mean, I think this is a good idea. I actually think we need to round up a couple of these ladies to come with
Wait,
us.
she's the one who did all the healing?
Yeah.
Holy, yeah. Yoko's coming with us. It's an honor.
I say, Yoko, you are my favorite person in this village.
Well, if you bring Yoko and there's like an outbreak in your village of disease or something like that, their one defense against it will be. And you're already taking all of the healing potions this poor little village has.
There's only one healer in this whole village?
It's a village.
It's Yoko. She's an awesome healer.
Well, it won't be any village if something happens. So she's coming with us. It's better to heal one of the nobles, like, not in a really shitty way. Okay, forget I said that. Basically, if she heals us, we can protect this whole village. If she's just here healing up the villagers, what does that matter? You know, like, they'll die anyhow. If our quest isn't successful, this whole village is gonna burn down, including Yoko. We're taking her as a yeah, we're just taking her.
Do either one of you have the religion?
No. Well, maybe. Let me check.
I'm not proficient in it, but I.
Wait, let me check. I might have it. Do I have religion? I do happen to have. Oh, no, I don't. Never mind.
Both of you roll me a die 20, please.
Haha. Oh, it's a 7? Damn it, I thought it was a 17. This is ridiculous. Oh.
Do you ever have that sort of tickling sensation that there's something you should know that you don't know, and it's just kind of scratching at the back of your head? It's on the tip of your tongue, and it can't come. There's something about this that might not work out well, but you can't remember what.
Oh, is there like some kind of religious overtone for taking her? Of her free will? I mean,
I don't know. I'm not a. I'm a pretty simple guy.
let's ask her.
I just want the village to be safe.
Village can't be safe if we can't complete our mission. So,
Yoko humbly informs you that all of her powers of healing simply come from the grace blessed upon her by the goddess of mercy, as long as she tends to the shrine.
we can take a piece of the shrine.
You know, the villagers aren't warriors.
Yeah. I mean, do you think we should have her come with us? I mean, this would be a very short go to Orange Blossom and back, you know? With the shrine, I mean,
This is the shrine inside here.
No, it's the shrine that's closer to the center of the village. It's very small. Nobody could live in it. It's probably the size of a shack with a little stone idol in the inside of it, and it's kept and maintained by the volunteer shrine maiden, and that changes out every few years. It's too small of an area to have a great temple or anything like
So eh, let me just be clear here. Ezra has no army, like real army, like 10,000 soldiers or anything like.
Nobody does in these little villages.
Didn't
barons. Barons maintain a mercenary force or professional soldier force on average of 25 soldiers. Because she has the equivalent of two baronies, or her, especially when it was her father, he maintained an equivalent of uh, 50 professional soldiers, including his captain of the guard and himself. When baronies go to war, they normally levy and effect a tax on the men of the village and call up, up to 200 men of fighting age, defining fighting age between 14 and 40, swelling the size of their force to from like your average barony of 25 to a total of 225 people. But these are usually peasants given light armor and something like spears. Um, they're not going to be the equivalent of real professional fighters. They're just not. Um, and then the way that you would think of it beyond that is, um, the countess, if she was calling upon her 10 barons, who would then potentially levy their entire force of 25, would have in addition to whatever she had in her own castle, an additional 250 soldiers from the barons that she activated, the barons themselves, and an additional 2,000 peasants that were of fighting age. So, in more modern terms, the soldiers that were professional soldiers and stuff like that would be like non-commissioned officers and officers, where the people that they activated in a draft-like fashion would have been the core enlisted people that would typically make up 80% of an army. And the reason that the villages would mobilize is, they want to have the best chance of stopping an enemy before the enemy gets to their village and comes after their wives and children. But that's the way it would really work in this type of feudal society. A baron in this area is effectively somebody who is supporting a village of around 1,000. So it's smaller in breadth than somebody having their own army of 10,000, because the literal income that she makes from the people who grow and create food in this area um, is literally off of the farming done here. And from that, she can support a professional 25 people. Most barons would prefer to keep it to their professional soldiers and not actually put their peasants at risk, because if they put their peasants at risk and they lose the men of fighting age, then it's also going to affect their farm production and so they don't make a habit of doing that. That's an emergency measure for war. That makes sense to everybody?
Yeah, it's a lot. Ezra, how many soldiers do you have?
Well, right now,
If you want me to answer that, keep in mind that your father took half of his force from each village when he fought and died. You were down to a smaller force. You did get some reinforcements when you did get the bad news, but right now, your northern village is defended by maybe 6 or 7 people, and this village is now defended by maybe 8 people who are professionals.
Yeah, so about 15. I mean, but we can't take them because they're defending these villages, so it's kind of just us. But I have something real cool to show you. And I cast Animal Companion.
You cast Animal Companion?
Yeah, that's one of my spells. It's in the spell book.
I think you're... No, that's not one of your spells.
Yeah, it is. Animal Friendship. Level 1. For 24 hours.
You have to cast that on an animal.
Oh,
You have to be a bard, druid, or ranger to cast
this
it.
is stupid. Why does it have this in my spell book then? And then I clicked on the thing and I was going through first level spells and I was like, wow, I didn't know they gave that to wizard. But whatever. Okay, never mind. Forget what I told you. Basically, what do you think about taking Yoko with us to Orange Blossom to then purvey some soldiers?
I would not ask her to betray her religion.
It's not betraying a religion. It's for
She's supposed to stay at the shrine.
No, she's supposed to fulfill her duties, which means aiding us. I mean, stay at the shrine?
Ezra, listen. We, you, a small girl, a special small girl, apparently, and I just wiped out 47 of the neighboring barons' troops. How many could he have left?
Okay, if you don't want to bring a healer with us, because of religion
I'm just saying, we either send a scout or I'll go and scout and perhaps find out how many troops are at Orange Blossom. Because I wouldn't imagine there's many. And if we could take on 50 and there's only 8 over there and they have no baron anymore, it could be as simple as you walking over there and declaring the place yours, which would make me very happy.
Well, I mean, so I'll ask.
I got you back. I'll go with you.
Okay, then I guess we won't take her. She can stay here at the shrine. So I guess we start to... We do have horses, right?
We could find someone else, maybe, who's skilled in medicine to come with us, who's part of the shrine.
You have horses.
Is there anyone else in this village we can take that's, skilled or...
I know the people of the village. Is there anybody here who knows a lot about medicine? That isn't associated with the shrine?
It's really, they're depending upon the blessing given to the shrine to take care of the village. It just, they don't commonly have that many problems, and they wouldn't be able to afford a doctor locally.
All right, then let's leave her here, because I feel bad, because she's pretty important to them. So let's just go to Orange Blossom. We got horses. I mean, let's just ride out there, see what happens. I got some tricks in the bag, and I think, yeah, that's my vote.
Well, if there's healing potions here, let's go buy some of those.
We have 4 right now. Can we buy more?
You've got everything that was within the village. So those 4 were the 4 for the entire village. However, because you overpaid for them, that's going to be making it very easily for the village to actually buy more than they originally had.
You know, I envision the Baroness sitting in a room surrounded by some pretty people dishing out, commands, not actually traveling to a place.
Well, that's the difference between other barons and me, is I like to get my hands dirty.
I'm not judging. I'm just saying.
If
I don't know what to expect. Maybe they all do this.
Hey, this is too long. This ain't Neverwinter. We don't have the luxury of being fat cats.
Yeah, the thing is the precedent her father kind of set was
Man of action.
and probably couldn't stand sitting in the seat for too long either. So he's probably happier going after and slaughtering the local bandits or other things that cause problems than sitting there going through the day-to-day drudgery of actually, rendering judgment in court and going over the financial documents and doing tea ceremony. It might have been part of it was loyalty and duty to his people, and part of it might have been that it was his own personal hell that he was in that station in the first place, if that makes any.
Okay. Is there a hand dish? All right. Is there a handmaid in Ezra? Do you have like a handmaid, like someone who just takes care of you?
No. I mean,
The closest of that for you would have been Old Man, who's to the village to the.
yeah, I got some magic. I'm a wizard.
We should have one person accompany, not as a fighter, but just someone to be there to send off to do various tasks or send messages.
Yeah, I agree.
Someone you can trust.
Well, let me think.
So, do you want to confiscate one of the local soldiers to come along with?
No. We should take.
Is there anyone in the village I know that wants to come? Even like a boy, a little boy. Not a little boy, but, wants to just travel with us.
No, that sounds weird.
What were your skills again, Robo?
Well, I'm proficient in survival, stealth, perception, nature, insight, athletics, and animal handling.
Roll me an insight check.
You can play music with the jukebox.
Mm-hmm. 21.
There is a young barmaid at the local inn who fancies you quite a bit, who would probably willing to go on your adventure.
Ooh.
Well, yeah, I don't want her to come because she fancies me. I just want someone who, we could pay them.
How picky you gonna be? She can't.
Well, I live at the inn. I don't want to mess with the barmaid. She's the one who brings me my. All right, you know what? Let's just go. We're just going to scout this out and see what's up. And bring that guy's head.
We gotta take one of the villagers. We should take the most, other than you, because you're the folk hero. Who else in this village is notable, other than Yoko? Ain't nobody else in this village that's, other than a farmer? Ain't nobody else in this village? Farmers and barmaid? I mean, there ain't no, like, cool guy.
All right, Nymph, make me a history check.
History would be D20, and I don't have anything to modify it.
Yeah, you do. It's proficiency of yours, so it would be a +6.
10? 16.
There was a older man who was in the area that helped your father out, sort of like the folk hero. He was injured and crippled, but he does have one son who might help if you go ask the family.
How old is he? The son.
Probably about 15.
Oh. Well. Do we got any good cooks in this village?
There's a cook at the inn,
Okay, we're
and
taking
there's
that
a cook in
person.
the...
We're taking the tavern cook. I've already decided. Bring your fanciest clothes. You're coming on an adventure with us. And you're making food, so bring some supplies.
He's 60 years old and arthritic.
Oh. Oh. Okay, well.
You know what? Let's just go by ourselves. This is getting complicated.
Yeah, this whole village. This village is.
We'll be small and light. I'm good in the woods.
This village is potato. Let's go. Let's go. That's what we do. We decide to go to Orange Blossom.
All right, as you go across the...
Wait. We get that head before we leave.
Yeah.
You get the what?
The head of that baron.
Okay, you take the head of the baron. All right, and you have it stuffed up and wrapped up in packaging paper in such a way that it's not reeking the entire time or attracting flies, so it's still recognized. You begin across in the moonlight, the Great Bridge. Robo, roll me a die 6.
You can have this, Bay. It smells fishy to me.
3.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not drinking that.
Okay. Nothing appears to happen so far. Nymph, roll me a die 6.
Me? Or Robo roll it?
He already rolled.
So I roll?
Yep, die 6.
Plus any advantage?
Nope.
3.
All right. You've made it across the bridge without an incident. Hold on. Let me switch us back to the map.
I stay in the middle of the bridge, away from the water. Not a big fan of the water.
You begin down the roadway, but still at night. So roll me another die 6 road.
Oh, it's nighttime. I didn't even think about it. wonder if there's a way to make it so I don't have to drag it.
I don't know.
I just click it.
You're at this point halfway to where the next village is. Nymph, roll me a dice.
Okay. 3.
Okay. You're virtually at the outskirt of the village of Orange Blossom. Roll me one more die 6.
2.
Roll me a perception check, both of you. That's going to be a die.
$19.
You approach the outside of the village. It's about 4 a.m. It's quiet on the village itself. There's maybe some like smoke from various chimneys and everything else that you're seeing. There are no patrols. There are no watchmen that you can see. And what kind of set you off as you were going through is there seems to be some slight movement in the forest. And what's unusual, considering the fact that you're about 4, let's call it 3 miles, where you can't even hear or smell the ocean breeze, is that there's a smell of almost like rotten saltwater fish in the air that seem to be permeating from the figures moving through the forest. What do you do?
So I tell Ezra something's coming
Alright,
and we should hide.
hide?
Let's see what it is.
Oh. Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, we got horses, so... Okay, well, but let's hide.
All right, we kind of pull off the road and get the horses in the trees and probably leave the horses and step a little bit away and hide and wait and listen for a minute.
First, both roll me stealth check. For you, it's a die 20 plus 6.
Holy shit. I'm really
19.
I'm not feeling this automatic dice. I had much more luck with the other dice and not cheating. Oh, damn.
That's too many.
Well, oh.
Roll me perception checks.
Sorry. Um, let me do it again because I was trying to do the thing. Yeah.
Mine's 10, but I have natural explore, which means in the forest everything is doubled. That's wisdom based.
Mine's 12 because I didn't add my modifier. And so me and Robo are hiding, right? So we're hiding and perceiving.
In the soft moonlight before the dawn begins, there are some large creatures moving through the forest. There's a strange soft water smell from. They kind of glisten. Um, they almost appear like they're scaly, almost like reptiles, and they have huge mouths that I could almost describe as that of a crocodile, but it actually comes from a fish, and these large eyes while they wield spears. There's about 5 close by, beginning to take looks within the village that you're looking at. Robo, you notice that 2 of them snap their eyes and their heads, not the way that a human would turn their head, but literally kind of moving the eyeball itself rather than perceiving from where the nose is and pointing one's head there. They literally turn their eye into the periphery and focus on where Baroness Ezra feels that she's being very stealthy. Roll initiative.
Damn it, I knew it. D20? Do I roll a D20? Oh.
Well, I got an 8.
Also, just so you know, if you go up to where we type our messages and you click the little eye, Leyland got the book, so when you click in that, you can like look at your spells and cantrips and everything. It's kind of cool.
Okay. In the silence of the night, you begin peering towards the figures when, with almost cat-like speed, 5 of them chuck spears. The spheres, 4 of them appear to hit the Baroness, and one of them actually accidentally threw his spear into another one of his fellow.
How do you roll 4 16s in a row? That's crazy.
I have no idea.
Yahtzee.
Probably would have been great in Vegas. Robo, it's your go.
Oh, I don't like this. All right. Contrary to my better judgment, I think we have to attack. Are they close enough for me to reach with my swords? Get
Yes,
to them and get them.
especially if he pounds.
Oh. Yes.
Can I bonus action Hunter's Mark one of
Yes.
and can I still pounce if I do?
Yeah, I'll allow it. They don't even know you're there, so for you, it's effectively a surprise act.
Yeah. So I pounce on one of them.
Another thing I'll allow you to do, because it's moonlight and nobody's physically seeing, is you could actually go full were tiger. So you can furry up to assist with your jump and everything else.
If I need to, I will. But if not, there's no point. So
Okay.
I'll just leap on the one of them and jam my katana.
Roll me 3 dice.
Actually, I should probably do them one at a time.
All 3 hit. Roll me 3 damage dice. These creatures are medium, so it's a die 10 each.
It's 14, but I have a bunch of pluses.
Add them all in.
So 14, so 28 total.
You get 3 large attacks, scraping on its insides with the first 2 slashes across either way, and chop up its head with the 3rd attack. One is down. Baroness, it's your go.
All right, I want to cast Scorch Fire on I want to cast it. It's a level 2 wizard spell, and I think it targets 3 people. So when I cast it, I'm gonna aim it at 3 people. Just pull it up so I can read it to you. Yes, Scorching Ray. Okay, so you create 3 rays of fire and hurl them at targets within range. You can hurl them at one target or several. On a hit, the target takes 2d6 fire damage. So, I'll roll to see hit. It was a 15. I don't know why it's showing 8. It's showing 15 on my screen, so...
Yeah, that's all I'm seeing.
Okay.
So it's 2d6 per beam?
Yep.
Okay, roll me 6d6.
6d6?
Yeah, or roll 2d6 3 times your choice.
Oh. Sorry, I'm trying to get used to the thingy.
The 3 beams strike across the night, like literally lighting the forest up as it's going, not striking any of the trees or whatever else, and it erupts into the um, large fritch creature. The Robo, you can get an absolutely clear look at this point if you want to make me a nature roll. And it scalds the ever living crap out of this thing. Does not kill it, but the reaction of this creature is to run immediately towards the sea to the north.
16 for nature.
It's a Sahagin, what's known as a sea devil.
Oh. We need to kill it and skin it. I'll probably get some money.
All right. There go.
Yeah, nat 20s for the DM don't count. Unless it's good.
I like that rule. That sounds good. Oh, look, roll 20 even puts it in a different color.
Okay.
We die.
A second volley of spears goes streaking out. Two of them clearly miss the Baroness, and then one chunks right into her kneecap, and she screams.
They do not like you.
It's probably the money. It's probably not like a hate thing. It's probably like a money thing. But I'm going to attack nonetheless, and I'm going to attack this time with,
It's not your go yet.
Oh.
Robo goes first.
Oops.
I move my hunter's mark to the next one. And give him the old double katana stab.
3d20. Hits.
Oh, I thought I could just click on it again and roll 3 times. Apparently not.
Miss. Hits.
Yay.
So, roll me damage for 2 attacks.
So 13 and 14. 27.
You slice the crap out of one with your first attack, and your second one actually literally cuts it in two as it falls dead to the ground.
Hunter's mark isn't even coming into play here. So how many are left?
One ran off and may return. Otherwise, there's 2 that you can see so far. That doesn't mean that that's the entire war. Nymph, it's your go.
Alright, I'm gonna attack with my katana. And yeah, I'm gonna go straight for the head. D20.
Go ahead and roll your attacks. 3d20. Two attacks hit. Roll me damage, please.
Okay. And then D4 for damage. Oh.
Nice.
And and +8 for the modifier. And then I got 2 more. So 10 and 12.
Okay, you get a first nasty attack off, and then the second attack lops off its head.
What? First decapitation, or actually no, second. Oops. Ooh. And these are sea devils. You should do the jukebox and do like music, like battle music. That'd be really cool.
I eventually will. Probably gonna do some ambient noises too.
Yeah. Like, this is what you hear. Oh my god, I looked up what these creatures look like and they're really gross. Like, they look gross. They look like fish people.
What are they called?
Sahagin.
Yeah, they're just like adult murlocs.
More advanced and scuzzy.
Yeah.
Alright. Baroness, the last one, runs up and slashes you with a claw and bites you on your...
What the? Well, I attack.
Hold on, it's Robo's go.
Oh.
Oh, so how many are left? Just one?
Just that one and the one that ran off towards the sea. That you know of.
Yeah, I'll trust my perception on that. I'll attack the last one, the one attacking her.
Roll your attacks.
Do you have the player's handbook over there? Because I'm recording, I don't necessarily want to constantly be looking at my spells on D20 because it's not fair.
So that 9 is actually a 50. So 15, a lot.
All three hit. Roll me damage and include your hunter's mark. Yeah. He drops to the ground. You pretty much turned him into shark fins.
Nice. Now I stand there for a moment to see if anybody else is coming. I listen.
You both can roll perception.
My perception is a d20 plus 6. Nice.
Actually, mine's doubled in the forest.
You scout around the side of the village. You find the corpse of a couple of dogs and a small boy. There seems to have been a larger warband beginning to look around this area, but you don't see any other Stahagan that are immediately here. It is now dawn, with the sun coming up.
So, if we just walk in the village, are people going to recognize her?
Well, I was gonna cast Alter Self on myself to look not like me. To look like another, like a woman, another woman. So,
Oh, okay.
can I cast that? Alter Self?
Yeah, you can.
Nice. Okay. Then I cast that on myself. Can I pick the appearance of what I look like?
Yes. It's an illusion. If somebody touches you, it'll remove the illusion.
Oh. Well, okay, well, I still cast it, but, I want to look like a very pretty woman. Yeah. With like a very pretty Asian woman. With huge boobs.
Like beyond your actual age.
Yeah, like 20. Like I look like I'm
Going straight anime out here.
Well, I mean, I want to look like I'm like I want to still look young, so people don't like if I say that I still want to look young, but like if anyone if anyone questions who I am, and they're like, "Oh, you're not the Baron," I'll become the Baron. I'll like magically be like, "I'm the Baron. I was in disguise." But I have really big boobs.
Make me an arcane check.
It's going to be a die 20 plus 6.
Oh, nice.
You shift your already shape-shifted form. And let me correct myself. Alter Self is actually self-alteration rather than an illusion. It will not be dispelled by a touch. Raising your height slightly, changing your weight, growing everything else. And you feel very comfortable with the magic that you've woven over yourself, that you're proportional and you've given yourself a realistic look.
That's a nice trick.
Yeah. It's one of the perks for not choosing cleric.
All right.
Oh wait, I chug a health potion too. Sorry.
2d4. Your wounds subside. The altar self does allow you to cover up the appearance of them. It doesn't mean that you don't still have them, but you do feel healthy even with them. To you, they seem like no more than scratches. The farmers are beginning to leave their different huts and everything else. Hold on, just for. And you see a small area of the village.
This is
Look at that.
As a small village, it has some of the amenities that you're used to. There is what we Westerners would refer to as a tavern. There's a tea house. There is an inn, a stables, a wash and bath area, and they also have a wooden garrison. This area tends to be spread where there's little collections of buildings like what you're looking at right now. Every so often, the main cluster is near here, which is about 30 buildings together. But there seems to be space, probably mostly as a consideration of having privies and stuff like that without a running sewage system. Because there are no farms jetting through what the village actually is. And this is the village of Orange Blossom. And you're at the exterior suburbs. What are you guys looking for? What are you guys doing?
Well, I kind of want to. I think we need to drop off the head and declare this village ours. I mean, do we see people walking around, or or is it too early?
It's the crack of dawn, but the farmers who are going to the fields are literally leaving all. So probably somewhere around 50% of the village is actually wandering off to the fields.
So we just walk straight in. Hello, good day, good day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And head straight to the whatever town hall of the main building looks like.
And I want to cast Friends as a cantrip, which means for the duration, you have advantage on all charisma checks. Directed at one creature of your choice. That isn't hostile, so, you know, let me save this for the who's in charge.
The main government building would literally be the garrison. There might be town elders and stuff like that within this area.
Well, let's head to the garrison first.
Yeah.
And if we see any, just let us know if we see any soldiers are on the way.
Roll me perception checks.
Dude, I'm like Jason Momoa Asian version walking through this.
Nice.
The town guard in this area is extraordinarily sparse.
Nice. Other than the farmers, do we see anyone like that maybe stands out or? do I have time to cast one more spell? Because I just cast a cantrip and I have spells to cast. I've only cast one spell now, like not a cantrip spell.
You might have more chances to cast spells.
Don't get jumpy, Ezra. It's fine.
No, I want to do Find Familiar.
I can see her all jittery.
Okay.
So,
I think that's like a spell you cast like on your off time, right? Just find familiar.
yeah, it takes quite a while. You're
Um,
going to be invested in that for about an hour. It's going to cost you some
I mean, if you want the time, we can
no. This is... No, it's okay.
find a tavern and hang out.
Well,
You can maybe get to know the people that you are going to.
yeah, let's go to the tavern. Well, it's early. I mean... Oh, let's do it. Let's go. Or should we go to the tavern or should we go to the government building? Like, it seems more pressing to deliver the head and then chill with the people, maybe?
All right, it's up to you.
Uh,
So what are we at the front gate?
So what are you doing?
we're going to, we're gonna go to the tavern so I can cast Find Familiar and get to know the locals.
Oh, changed your mind. All right.
I'll just in your plans.
It's okay. Hold on.
Okay. You approach the area where there's the main. You all physically see it?
Yep.
You see the main area. There's a sleepy cook moving around on the bar area towards what appears to be a cooking area. There's a sleepy patron or two sitting on some of the. Which direction do you move toward?
So you want to cast your spell, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, what do you need? Do you need it to be quiet? Can we just go in the corner, or do you want to get a room?
Let's... I can just let's get a little table and then I'll cast a spell. It's instantaneous. Or no, it's an hour. Oops. The casting time is now.
There might be a little bit of a difference between those two.
Yeah, like we'll walk over to a table, and if the bartender comes up to us, then we'll be like, give us a couple of. Well, actually, we'll go give us a town gossip. Or no, not like that, but maybe what's going on in this village. But yeah, I do want to cast a Find Familiar spell. And I get to choose what the form is, so I want to choose a cat.
Good choice.
Yeah.
Like a tiger kitty would be the best choice. Oh, the bar's filling up.
Oh, that's actually really cool.
So the bartender comes up and asks you what you would like.
Do you have any breakfast?
Why, yes, he does. He offers you eggs, bacon, a variety of food.
I'll take it all. And a glass of milk.
I like how you said that. And a glass of milk. Do they have milk in this town?
Well, I hope so. Otherwise, we're just going to burn it. Who
Yeah.
doesn't have milk?
Hey, more land for our farmers. I mean, if we can get them here.
All right, he brings you at a large breakfast. Only costs about 50 silvers for the two of you.
Jeez. Back in my day, it used to cost 50 copper. This is a book.
It's a bug.
No! So, I'm casting this spell, right? And I want it to be a cat. And I'm eating breakfast. I mean,
Well, you can't do that. You got to concentrate. You're a mage.
okay.
I mean, you can then do. I'll ask the bartender, like, where are all the souls?
Make an insight check, real.
Nine.
It's fine. Everything's fine. No worries.
The way you said that.
Well, what am I, other than casting the spell, like, when I'm casting this, am I, like, really focused into it?
I mean, I think you'd have to be.
Yeah.
You're like calculus test focus.
I'll just kind of meander around and make sure she's not. And ask the bartender where all the soldiers are.
Okay, you wander up to the bar and ask him where are all the soldiers. Do you have any charisma-based skill that you want to use to facilitate this?
No, I mean, it's a pretty honest question.
It's kind of suspicious.
I mean, I just say, hey, there doesn't seem to be any soldiers around. Where are they? Do you have guards? I'm new here. I'm new here. Are there any guards around? I noticed there's no soldiers out front.
Spoken like a true rogue. I know you're not playing rogue, but you usually do in MMOs, and like, that's the exact kind of question a rogue would
I
ask.
really just should have made a rogue, to be honest with you. Because I'd rather not be out in the open. I feel so exposed.
I should have did a cleric. I was looking at their spells, and I was like, good God, they're freaking. It's kind of awesome.
I mean, I'm just asking a direct question. I'm not trying to like pretend I'm something I'm not or anything. I'm not trying to intimidate him.
Roll me a d20 with your charisma modifier.
That would just be a straight D20. 7. If he's a grouchy old innkeeper, I just bought 50 silver worth of breakfast.
He tells you that the men or the soldiers of the village, most have just gone off to war with the neighboring barons. The tragedy of that is a young boy just died in the
And the what?
And the people are very nervous. They're down to like 3 guards that are literally hiding within the garrison at this point, not protecting the people.
Nice. This is pretty awesome. We're technically the bad guys here.
Not the bad guy.
Or the good guys, but they think...
What did you think of the... I mean, what do you think of him? Is he treating you guys good here?
You sense that even answering the question might have been some kind of potential bad thing, and that the person seems very nervous from the way that you just spoke.
Oh, I get it. Well, I kind of lean down a little close to him, wink at him, and say, "Don't worry." And then I go back and watch Ezra's, make sure she's not disturbed, and drink my milk, and listen to what the other. I guess there's only one other person here. I like this place. I'm going to own a place like this one day. Oh, someone else. Who's that?
Eventually, Leyland was, there's like a thing in here where you can, like a jukebox, and you can add music and like little like, sounds and stuff. Like, it's pretty cool. He was, watching a bunch of these videos, and, so I started kind of watching a little bit of them too, and it gets pretty in-depth. There's like a lot of like little immersive things that I was like, this is not a bad system. There's Roll20 and Fantasy Grounds, and I think Roll20 is a lot, like, it has a lot more depth to it, so it's kind of cool.
Fantasy Grounds is awesome. It's just really complicated. It's like hard to use is the problem. Do you listen to Critical Role?
Yeah.
You do? Really?
Yeah.
So, like, you know who Jester is? Like the cleric of all clerics?
The blonde?
No, you do listen to the podcast Critical Role? Like their whole campaign?
Oh, I watched season, or campaign, 1 and 2, but I haven't stayed.
I'm listening to 2 right now, like in my truck when I drive. But like, Jester is their cleric, and she's like, oh, super awesome.
Oh my gosh.
Like, just the way she plays the character is cool. She's also the voice of Jaina Proudmoore in.
I think, isn't that Laura Bailey?
Yeah, she plays Jester, the cleric. Matt Mercer is McCree in Overwatch, and tons of other things like in the Clone Wars and stuff.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah, no, I know who you're talking about now.
If you've never seen Jester, when you go to YouTube, look up Ginny D in like Jester cosplay. She does amazing cosplay as a as Jester.
Okay.
But there, like 2 episodes ago, Jester had to like outsmart a sea hag. It was crazy.
Roger that.
She fooled her with the dust of deliciousness. It was the funniest.
Dust of deliciousness?
She gave her the sea hag was making a deal, and you have to watch it. But she's like, I don't know if you know, but sea hags are super dangerous.
Yeah.
And so she went into the room with the sea hag voluntarily, and everybody like panicked because she ran in there. And then she made a deal for like her goblin friend's life to remove a curse, but she would have to lose her hand. And then before she lost her hand, she offered the sea hag a cupcake, like covered with the dust of deliciousness. And all kinds of things ensued. It was great. You have to watch that. You have to watch that on YouTube because somebody clipped that whole scene, and it's like the best D&D scene that ever came out of anywhere.
Wasn't it the dust of deliciousness, that stuff? It was like ground up kids.
I don't know what it is, but it was awesome.
Oh, there was. I'm thinking of I was watching another campaign they did, and it was like, I think, like they went up and there was. It was the same with the hag too, but I think I'm thinking of something else. Is it Ravenloft? I'm thinking of Ravenloft. So yeah. I'll definitely check it out though. They have definitely made D&D popular, I guess, or actually I wouldn't say, because I kind of think it's always been popular for people, but I think more accessible for people. Like I think it made it so like things like Roll20 and Fantasy Grounds had a lot more people going to it and checking it out and everything.
Oh, absolutely. Dude, their last episode had like almost 90,000 views.
Good. Wow.
Their last Twitch stream, every Thursday at 7, they do the Twitch stream. Like 90,000 viewers.
Wow.
I don't watch them because I'm still catching up. Because I didn't watch season 1, but I'm watching campaign 2. And I'm on like episode 15 or whatever. And they just released a recap of the whole thing. That's as far as I got. But it's pretty great.
Cool. All right. So, the Baroness finishes up her spell, and a small black cat wanders up to where she.
Is it a boy or a girl?
You tell me.
It's a boy, and I'm gonna name him Merlin.
Now, the next question is: he a fae, a fiend, or celestial?
Faye.
Okay.
Well, I like this. Is that like a barmaid over there by the bar?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I guess we can leave now, right?
Yeah. I mean, we kind of know what's. Yeah, we got the familiar. I say we head up to the fortress. Present.
Okay. I look at the bartender and say, "You have yourself a good," and wave at the barmaid, and we leave.
And he bows.
I show a lot of cleavage and I wink, and I leave.
Okay. So, slightly different than the setup of the garrison that you were in when you were in Camilla, where the wall extended around the primary castle area. The primary castle area for the wooden fortress, and I'm misusing castle because it's all wood. You could break into it like you could somebody's wooden house. In effect, you could literally bash through the wall. That particular area is where you come into and out of the garrison, the way that they set it up in Orange Blossom, where it looked like the Baron or Baroness was inspecting the people as they would flood in the event of an emergency. You head up to where the front doors are. What do you do?
Just knock on the door. No guards or anything, right? I mean, it's just the door.
There is a guard with a spear who opens a small lever that allows him to look outside, and he asks you what your business is.
I say, hi, I'm Knock. What's your name?
State your business.
I have really, really exciting news for you. Like, really exciting.
I jiggle my boobs a bit.
You're killing me.
Make me a persuasion check while you're doing that.
Persuasion?
Who, me or her?
It's gonna be her.
It's gonna be D20 plus 10.
Yeah, that is more persuasive.
Plus 10.
Bam!
Woo! 29.
The guard seems very, 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 very distracted. He doesn't appear to be paying attention to what you're saying, Robot.
I say, as I jiggle my boobs, I kind of dance a little bit, and I go, let me in.
If this works, I am just gonna. I don't even know. God.
So he opens the door.
I just slapped myself in the forehead and follow her. I'm like, you know what? You can do all the talking from this point on, please.
This is not a guy I would have protecting my house. Okay, so the door is now open. There's a guard running towards the guard who just opened the door in a state of shock.
Well, I go in before they have a chance to close it. I go in. Hey, how are you? Wait.
Both of you make me persuasion checks again.
Nice. Oh, I got plus 10. 28.
So what do you two say?
Who's in charge?
Well, of course, it's the Baron.
Oh, where is this Baroness?
Oh, she's in the main castle area behind.
Oh, is she?
Did he say Baroness?
Yes, it appears that the head you're carrying was married.
Well,
Wait, I thought it was a dude we were carrying.
You're carrying a dude. But in the absence of her husband in noble lineage, the wife would be in charge in his absence. And in fact,
well, I I look down kind of sad. I holster my boobs and like cover them up a little bit, and I say, "We have some pressing news that we need to deliver to her immediately. It's very serious."
Persuasion check.
Plus 10, 15.
I mean, plus 10. I'm sending you in everywhere from now on.
They're hearing you, and they're distracted. They ain't really feeling what you're saying. Is there another way you want to put that?
I'll look at him, I guess. And I say, listen, we need to talk to her really badly. She'll want to hear this.
Do you have a persuasion or deception?
No, but I can still try.
Yeah. D20 plus whatever your charisma modifier.
18. Yeah.
God. So you're wandering through to the central castle area where the Baroness is having breakfast with her three really questionable guards as far as their professionalism and dedication to their.
Nice.
And there she is having breakfast with her two children.
Well,
Well, I tell the guards, thanks for your help, really. It's been an honor.
yeah. So, 7 breakfast, a little breakfast with the kids. And I walk in, and I'm gonna walk up and, well, wait a minute. I'm gonna cast Friends. It's a cantrip. For the duration, you have an advantage on all charisma checks directed at one of your choice. And this is my choice.
Keep in mind, it has the problem that you do with Charmed, which is at the end of the round, they realize you took advantage of their.
Oh,
Charmed person has the same problem after an hour. The first thing that you can do that you can behavior modify somebody with a don't necessarily by the rules know is actually right around suggestion, which is a 2nd level spell.
I mean, who's to say she survives an hour?
Well, she might not survive the round for you to do the friend spell, but what do
Well, I wanted to cast the Friends on her, but if not, then I'll just walk up to her, or, well, I'll approach and I'll go, "Baroness, we must speak. It is dire."
you roll persuasion?
21.
She's listening.
So now I'll go,
Perhaps you could send the children away.
yeah, this would be best if it was just, this is something you wouldn't want your children to overhear, and I look very sad.
Persuasion. She sends them away.
So now it's just me, Robo, and her in a room?
And the 3 remaining guards for this entire area.
Oh. So, well, Robo, do you wanna talk to her? You're carrying the gift.
Oh, am I? I mean, do you want me to? If you, Ezra, want me to talk to her, I will. You're the Baroness.
Alright, I'll sort this out woman to woman. So at this point, I
Just watch her.
I
I get between the
dispel
guards.
my spell. Like the alter self. So now I look like me. I look like Ezra. And I go, now look, your husband's dead. Your army's dead. And you better be happy I don't kill you too. So I can make this nice and easy, or I can kill you and your guards, and I'll burn this city to the whole ground.
Persuasion.
Fuck! I gotta...
Roll it.
I personally think you should handle this one, Robo.
You say roll initiative?
I said roll initiative.
I don't want to murder these guards. I was kind of hoping to add them to the troops.
Oh, you should have told me that. I would have went another way with this.
Oh, well, no, I mean, I don't know.
She could have just, if we would have been nice to her, she could have did the same thing. The fact that she's even attacking
Yeah, it's true.
this is reckless, and I just gave her an out.
The guards miss with their swords, and she tries to stab Ezra with a small blade that she had tucked away. All four miss. These are not people who are supremely dangerous to you.
Can I non-lethal the guard?
Yes. How do you want to beat them down? Do you want to just like break bones? Do you want to just try and knock them out?
I just want to try to knock them out. I'll just.
Okay. You can pugil them down. It'll be basically 1 plus your strength bonus until their hit points are depleted enough that they pass.
I mean, I get the impression that they're not gonna be any major threat to me, right? Just they don't move like they're well trained or anything like that.
Not just that, you're not sensing silver and you're not sensing magical items. You don't feel threatened. This is like being attacked by 4 puppies.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to presume that I would know what was magical, but okay, yeah. Well, then I tell them to back off while I punch. I'll attack the first one, but yeah, I'm just gonna punch. I'm gonna go all kung fu on this first guy.
Hold on just for a second. Nymph actually moves first if the 11.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
What are you doing?
I stab her with the katana
Oh,
for decapitation.
Roll.
D20?
Roll for damage.
And damage is D10 plus 8. Plus 8, 12.
You cut the lady's head off at the jaw, and she is dead. So the Baroness has fallen.
I'm the Baroness now.
yell that really loud.
I do. I yell that very loudly. And well, who's holding on to the other head?
It's in my pack.
Oh. So, yeah. We had to kill her. I mean, if she has kids.
Yeah, I'd like to know if she was a good person or a bad person. Now you have 2 kids to take care of, so there you go.
Hey, she has kids with this dude. That means she must have been loyal to him, or she had some, like, attachment to him. I can't risk being backstabbed.
Maybe she's part of his harem.
Well,
Married off by some other emperor, didn't want to be here.
I'm here in this village to take over.
I get that now. It's okay, she's dead now. I just want to make sure these guards don't die.
Ezra, you have 2 attacks.
I look at both the guards, I pick her head up, and I say, I will kill you if you don't stop. You can join me, or you can attack me, and this will be your fate. And I shake her dead head at him.
Roll persuasion with disadvantage. In other words, roll 2d20 and take the worst.
Nice.
Okay, they surrender.
Nice.
And that's where we're going to stop.
You just gained 3 more soldiers.
Yep, see?
Yeah, but what village are you going to have these guys guard?
I know. And she just made 2 very potentially bad enemies.
Well, if these guys are persuaded by a big pair of boobs, it means that they need some slapping around. Me donning the big boobs was a test. I can't have soldiers who aren't disciplined. It could have been me behind this door.
Oh, I'm not knocking it. These big boobs may take over the king.
Yeah.
Who needs a catapult when you have big boobs? Because
I look at Robo and I wink.
good job, Ezra. Good job.
And then, do we know what happens to the kids, or have they seen this, or are they hidden away?
Those are the 2 enemies you just got.
You'll know that next session. Same bad time, same bad